Can you lose weight with intuitive eating? Is it another diet? What do I really think about it? Welcome to the series. I'm Alyssa and I'm so glad you're here. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. This is the last week of Monday through Friday episodes. What a series it's been. But remember, the course is hosted via email. So if you want the additional downloads that come with every single video, including, the past catalog of what's already gone live, make sure you sign up at mindovermunch.com/foodfreedom. So this series is about healing relationships with food. Intuitive eating, this is the definition from the website, is a self-care eating framework which integrates instinct, emotion, and rational thought. Now, much of what I speak about throughout this entire series, much of what I've spoke about, can sound like intuitive eating, but I want to be clear.
It's not.
Now, Evelyn Tribole, who was the woman who founded intuitive eating, started intuitive eating, she would agree with me. So my approach is, at its heart, mindfulness, and intuitive eating is not. Now, I greatly respect Evelyn and I so appreciate what she's done with intuitive eating and some of the science that she's contributed to published literature, but what I practice and what I am preaching in this series is not intuitive eating. That being said, it's also not anti-intuitive eating. So remember inner and outer wisdom, the cake and the frosting?
Let's just do it again.
Stop, it doesn't look like a tablecloth. It's icing.
You need a candle.
Cake. This is a cake with frosting. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this whole series compounds on previous episodes. So watch the beginning to really understand the concept. But in this analogy, the cake itself is the inner wisdom. And remember, that is the foundation that we want to build off of. It's our connection to ourselves. It's being able to listen to our bodies, to tune in. The frosting is the outer wisdom. The outer wisdom is the awesome tools that we get through different ways of eating, dieting, macronutrients, knowledge about nutrition, health expert advice. All of that is really valuable, but we don't want to blindly listen to outer wisdom, to frosting. The frosting on its own doesn't really do much for us. It's only really useful when it's the whole package, the frosting with the cake. That being said, the cake is the structure, the foundation of everything. Intuitive eating is primarily inner wisdom. It's only the cake. I am pro inner wisdom, so that is a pro about intuitive eating in my opinion, but it's also the only pro and also for that reason the biggest con. So intuitive eating focuses so much on inner wisdom that it almost completely ignores the power of the frosting, of the outer wisdom. So intuitive eating has these 10 principles. I'll put them up on screen, but essentially most of them relate to inner wisdom except for pretty much the last one, which is honor your health with gentle nutrition, and that kind of nods to outer wisdom. I've read their books and gone through their program, and they often maintain, that last one is not even necessary. All you need, essentially, they don't say inner wisdom, but what they're getting at is inner wisdom. Now, that is not the balance I'm going for. I really believe inner and outer wisdom together provide the greatest value. The difference is the inner wisdom is foundational. We need that first, not only, but first. I also am hesitant about the tone of intuitive eating. It can be a little bit judgmental, a little extreme. So principle 1, for instance, it uses this word.
Reject.
So extreme.
Reject the diet mentality.
I think what's resonated with me on my, mindfulness journey is listening to what feels reasonable and makes sense. I've talked about the pendulum a lot. Those extremes are so stressful over here and over there. Reject this, only do this. I find so much more ease in the middle. Intuitive eating makes sense, mostly, but that harsh tone can make me cringe a little bit, so that doesn't make me feel super peaceful. Mindfulness has made my body kind of like an alarm. So how I'm feeling, how, when I hear something, how I feel can really guide me. Would I endorse intuitive eating? I do think it could help, but I think it can easily be misused, and it easily is misused. There are some helpful tools in the books in the program that really, are designed to foster inner wisdom. Some of the studies also mentioned in the book are really interesting, and they acknowledge the connection of the mind and body. I appreciate the reasoning and the science that they point to, talking about, how diets specifically don't work and can actually cause more more harm than good. But sometimes it's a little bit hypocritical. You know, I don't think they're partners with, but they endorse Health at Every Size a lot, which I think is doing great things overall. But both of these programs really say be wary of BMI, and I agree because I think it's misinterpreted and inaccurately used. But then the hypocrisy is when you read the book, so many of the studies they reference, you know, are based on BMI. It's kind of like they're cherry picking what serves them, and I guess in a way aren't all of us. Also, intuitive eating explicitly says you cannot focus on weight loss. And when I said that it can be misused, you know, one of the most highly searched things on when you go on Google is like how to lose weight with intuitive eating, or why am I not losing weight with intuitive eating? Well, they specifically say you can't focus on it. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to lose weight. I mean, the truth is you feel how you feel. And I believe this journey to peace with food is about meeting yourself in the moment and how you respond to meeting yourself. You know, are you judging yourself? Are you hating yourself? Are you being harsh and unreasonable or unkind? Or are you being patient and lighthearted and self-compassionate, easygoing, open, mindful? Now, weight loss can be approached with an unhealthy mindset where, you know, there's so much of a focus on the frosting, on the outer wisdom, but it can also be approached with a healthy and mindful mindset. That's where we find the foundation in the inner wisdom. So what intuitive eating is getting at, that I agree with, is once you have the inner wisdom foundation, then you realize the weight loss doesn't matter so much. The weight loss isn't really what we're after, right? We want to feel good, we want to feel confident. But to tell people, stop caring about losing weight, you know, you have to stop caring about losing weight to do this program, good luck. If you care about losing weight right now and I tell you, well, just don't, is it gonna do anything? No. You know, I mean, if someone told me a couple of years ago, 5, 10 years ago, to stop caring about losing weight when it was all I cared about, it's not gonna happen. And I also don't like a lot of the kind of social media approach and tone with intuitive eating. You know, this is not necessarily the intuitive eating accounts, but like the nutritionists who endorse it saying, don't listen to these coaches or those experts, only listen to us.
Sorry.
That's just as much of an extreme. That's just saying,
Don't trust you, trust me.
I want to listen to someone who encourages me to listen to me first and foremost. And I want you to listen to you. You know, I want you to hear what other people have to say if it's calling to you. And then I also want you to recognize it's your power and your decision to absorb or let it go. I don't believe in dogma, and I don't believe that anyone outside of you is going to really have the answer to you that you can't find. It doesn't mean that you can't benefit from their information. When it comes to weight loss, my approach is meet yourself where you're at now, and then meet yourself again where you're at tomorrow and the next day, and you keep doing that, seeing clearly what's here now, and it evolves, and your relationship to weight and health and food will change. Eventually, if you keep meeting yourself now, what I found and what I've seen a lot of other people find that have healed their relationships with food is they start to lose the weight because they stop caring so much, because they get less stressed, and they realize all I really wanted was peace. All I really wanted was to not focus on the number. But we have to just kind of let it happen. Okay, so share in the comments, what are your thoughts on intuitive eating? You know, how do you decide what to listen to? If you've tried intuitive eating, did it work for you? What worked and what didn't? And if you know someone who's considering trying it or who's confused about it, you know, feel free to share this video. It really means a lot to me when you do that. And at the end of the day, no matter what, the choice is yours. Just remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.